All right, we got This Is How You Destroy a Franchise from ya boy Legendary Drops. Okay, what is going on with the franchise?
I don't understand why these publishers and their CEOs think that it's a good idea to keep doing the same thing over and over again and
Well, they think it's a good idea because, well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
think that it's somehow going to yield a better result. I mean, I do know why. It's because they think you're stupid. It's because
Well, I take it you're talking about Battlefield trying to be Call of Duty. As I can see right here, Battlefield wants to be Call of Duty. Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
they think that you're going to keep buying the same thing over and over again. And they also know that, well, investors love predictability. Investors love franchises. It's the only thing that they can recognize in this industry. So that's what they want to invest in. But I don't know about you guys, but have you gotten to the point where you've just started to tune out a lot of these games? It's just
It depends on the game. It depends on the IP. A lot of my favorite IPs that I grew up with, I no longer like, and I just like, I don't know, different stuff now. Um, there's still like a little piece of like each of like all my old favorite games that I still like, but for the most part, they're all dead. I mean, it's like a little keepsake thing essentially that just collects dust on like some shelf in your room, but like inside you. That's more or less what it is. It's just gonna sit there and collect dust, which isn't a bad thing because at least I have those memories and experiences with certain games, as opposed to not having them. I mean, what am I supposed to hope that every subsequent iteration of all my favorite old games is supposed to do the thing of like bigger, better, badder, of like bestest? Every subsequent game has to top the previous one. I mean, maybe, but like, how realistic is that?
It's the same thing over and over again at an ever increasing speed, it feels like. And you know that these games are not going to deliver anything you like. You know that they're not going to deliver anything new. And you know that they're not going to deliver what these franchises were at their peak. It's like that meme of the farmer with a bunch of buckets and he's walking up to the same cow over and over again. Cow's all
Hmm.
dried up. We have a lot of dried up cows in this industry right now, and we're
Yeah.
about to see another one.
What is the dried up cow like the intellectual property, the brand of like pick your favorite video game, and the farmer represents the CEO of the AAA company trying to pull out another banger, pull out another pull out some water from a rock. I mean, probably that's the analogy, but ain't nobody got any water to give, dude. Nobody's making any water.
I was wrong about EA. Didn't take long for that to happen. It came out that after Battlefield 6, they're going to try to turn Battlefield into an annualized release like Call of Duty, which should come as no surprise. They already do that with their sports games, but how do you not look at your competition, see the damage that's done, and say, maybe we shouldn't do that? Who am I kidding? You're only looking at the money they're making. You know, franchises aren't the problem with this industry. Everybody has their favorites, but the issue is that the games industry has become just so obsessed with predictability, while
Yeah.
the audience doesn't want anything to do with it. I don't want to keep playing the same games. I don't want to keep expecting the exact same thing, and I don't think a lot of other people do either. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the ongoing crisis of creative bankruptcy within this games industry, the slow death of our favorite franchises, and
Uh, if we look at like a bunch of other, well, I know you're not talking about other stuff. You're talking about video games. Could we say the same thing about like a lot of other media? There's been a lot of creative bankruptcy in other forms of media, TV shows, well, series, movies, music, books, comics, novels, graphic novels, whatever. Uh, Has there been creative bankruptcy there? Is there any room for anything new? Do people want to see anything new?
Why the games industry thinks that it's a good idea when it never has been. But before that, a word from today's sponsor.
Whoa,
You guys can
close
help me get
swap.
so many more disc plates. I have a whole box here. I have another box down there in the corner. This video is sponsored by Displate. Yeah, that's right. They're back for more with how much support you guys have shown through this channel. These guys have.
Oh, wait, what? Move your hand. I wanted to see that one. Was that Mob Psycho? I don't know this one. Oh, that's Helsing. That's goated. I don't know this one.
Absolutely loaded.
Is this Mob Psycho? What the fuck is this? Is this Chainsaw? No, that's Chainsaw Man. So we got Chainsaw Man, Mob Psycho, Helsing. I don't know that one. And I can't even see those up there. And you like hockey. I think that's hockey. Or wait, no. That's the Indian? I don't know.
Me up with more metal posters than I know what to do with. When I move later this year, that full displate wall is actually happening. That is not a joke. I got a full stack ready to go.
Damn.
If you guys
Note to self, never stand by that wall. Why? Because you have no idea when any one of those metal blades is going to come down toppling to take out one of your little Tootsie Toes. Okay? Never stand by that wall.
guys have never seen one, Displate makes high-quality metal posters that mount magnetic.
They look good, though. I cannot lie. They look good. All right? They just do.
You stick it to the wall, line it up, and that's it. No tools, no frames, no wall damage. They are super easy to swap out or pack up if you're going to move, which is a big part of why I've stuck with them. And I mean, these guys have everything. Retro games, movies, anime, fantasy, tech, custom art, textured finishes, even limited edition designs that sell out and never come back. There are millions of designs to choose from, and their quality is always great, and the install process literally takes seconds. So go to display.com/@legendary drops or use my code legendary at checkout to get the best deal. Find something to actually make your space look like your own. Thank you to Displate for sponsoring today's video.
That does look good, though.
Now, I don't want to get it twisted. This is an industry that runs on franchises. Diablo, Madden, Grand.
Oh, look. Is this you? Oh, leg drops. Leg drops. Playing on M&K. Look at this. Finally put down the little dildo sticks and picked up the man's input.
Auto, Monster Hunter, Pokemon, Call of Duty. I could list well over 100 names if I wanted to, and I don't think I'd be very far off in the assumption that the vast majority of money in this industry likely comes from those names. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Franchises build a lasting image in both the minds of players and publishers. We get familiar with their worlds. They become a part of our culture. Hell, sometimes they even become a part of people's identity and personality. I remember...
Yeah, I mean, there's like 5 zillion dudes walking around with like that little berserk tattoo of the brand, the cursed brand doodad. Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. There's a ton of people walking around with like Dragon Ball Z shit. A ton of people walking around with like their favorite video game thing on them, and these people aren't even getting paid to put that shit on. They just like doing that shit, dude.
My old backpack was covered with Halo patches and pins. My binders had Halo stickers. It was all I thought about, all I talked about, all my friends talked.
I had an era like that too. Did I have stickers or pins or something? I think maybe I had a couple shirts, but I never really did. I don't think I did the pins or patches or whatever, because I was just like, it's just like more bullshit to put on my bag or whatever.
Talked about, and I was just one drop in an ocean of players that felt and acted the exact same way. There is a special kind of loyalty that develops from long-running franchises. It's a symbiotic relationship where we have something we love, experiences we can imagine it will deliver.
And this was back at a time where people actually had pride over aligning themselves with certain like video games or movies or stuff like that. It was like, if a good ass movie came out like Lord of the Rings, it's like, yeah, give me all that shit. Put it all over me. I love it. One ring on the necklace. Yeah, you know?
to us in the future, and publishers have an audience that is ready and waiting for the next release. But the games industry, and also Hollywood for that matter, seem to completely disrespect how delicate that balance is. You can easily overwhelm an audience with too much content. You can bombard them to the point where they're resistant, even immune to the very thing that they once loved. It's like eating your favorite food every day or playing the same song on repeat. No matter how much you enjoy it, eventually you're going to burn out. And now, riding on the wave of Battlefield 6's popularity, EA is doing exactly that. We are now the popular girl that gave attention to the wrong guy, and now they're moving too fast, coming on too strong, and, well, we're likely going to regret ever texting them.
And we can thank one person, at least. We can thank one locked in cat girl for all of this extra attention. And also, there's a little bit of, who's that dude? Who's always in the Jets? Silk OCE. Racking up like 80 and O's into Jets. Bro, when this game comes out, this is going to be the most sweaty Battlefield 6 to date. It just is, man. It's going through the same rings. It's going through the same speed bumps, the same twists and turns that Call of Duty 2019 went through. And I can see it already. The writing's on the wall. This is going to be the sweatiest Battlefield you've ever seen to date. And I don't think there's actually going to be a competitive mode or like a ranked mode in Battlefield, because I have not really seen any competitive mode or playlist on any of the previous Battlefields. Maybe there were. I was extremely casual, like if any, on any of the previous Battlefields. I think I played like one or two back in the 360 days, but even then there were no like rank modes, I think. So there's no place to put all the sweaty people, what are they going to do? They're just going to run around and plague the pubs, the public games. They're going to do all the same things that the Call of Duty community does. They're gonna, who knows if there's like any sort of like skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, whatever you want to call in there, some sort of like team balancing bullshit going on. There's gonna be VPN spoofing in order to get the shitty, go to the shitty, region. I saw like, what was it, on one of Silk's videos? He was like, had like some ad for like some VPN thing, and he even says, hey, if you guys want to go into some easier games, yeah, just get this thing that I'm sponsored in. It's in the first like minute or so of the video, and I was fucking appalled. And I look at the up thumb, down thumbs of it, and I'm just like, it's all like up thumbs. I was like, this is where we're at. This is how, like that scene in Star Wars where Padme's like, what did she say? This is how democracy dies, in thunderous applause. I'm sitting there watching that video going, this is how any sort of competitive integrity dies, in thunderous applause, in like mountains of up thumbs. Not that I'm looking for competitive integrity in any video game period, but it's like, and you have like blatant people advertising VPNs for the specific purpose of getting you into easier lobbies. I was like, does no one else see this? Fuck it, whatever, I don't give a shit. All that just to say that I was on the fence of getting Battlefield 6, and just like little things here and there of like, oh, this got nerfed, this is gonna probably be a lot of like VPNs going off left and right, potential cheaters coming in and out of the woodworks. But that's any FPS game. New Battlefield every 3 years. I'm just like, I was previously on the fence for getting this shit on day one. The more I see, I'm just like, I just don't want to get it anymore. And that sucks, because I was kind of excited.
In an article from Insider Gaming written by Tom Henderson titled Battlefield is aiming to become an annual release within 5 to 6 years, it's claimed.
Annual release? I heard, like, what was it, 3 years?
They write, in a new video, industry analyst Michael Pachter claims that the general manager of the Battlefield franchise, Byron Beede, has told him that EA wants Battlefield to be an annual title. According to Pachter, he has spoken to Beede, who said that EA's goal is to have 3 studios working on the Battlefield franchise on a 3-year cycle.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Why would they do this, though? They saw what Call of Duty has already tread this path. Why would EA not pay attention and learn from what has already happened? 3 studios going year after year, new game after new game. Call of Duty already did that with like year after year after year. But I mean, shit, maybe they just saw the like the profit numbers and completely ignore the public perception of the game, and they just don't give a shit. So they are turning it into like an annual yearly, like, well, shit, I thought it was going to be like a game every 3 years. Well, shit, I'm just straight wrong. This makes me want to get the game. Like, I really don't want to get the game now, because when this shit comes out, it's only going to be another, 5 or 6 years? And then it's going to be like, new game, new game, new game, new game. What a joke.
So that they can release annually. Unsurprisingly,
why would you even announce this? This is going to make your sales of Battlefield 6 go down. I mean, maybe it won't.
is identical to Call of Duty's annual release model, but Pachter claims that the franchise is still 5 to 6 years away from back-to-back annual releases. Insider Gaming reached out to Byron Beede for comment, but as of yet has not heard a response. This is why we can't have anything nice. The second that these companies see that players like something, their eyes light up and they immediately start dismantling the process that made it all work.
Also, I don't know if they know this, but like, if I were to guess, maybe I could be wrong. Your average age of a Call of Duty player is probably going to be younger than the average age of a Battlefield player. I always thought that people that play Battlefield are on average going to be like 5 to 10 years older, just because they like the slightly slower tactical play style of Battlefield versus the run and gun arcadey style of Call of Duty. But I mean, shit, I could be wrong. So like, I thought the circles, come on, paint, work with me, get up. I thought the circles for Battlefield Call of Duty were like circle, and then let's see, I thought they were like kind of like this. Like, there's some overlap, right? But they're maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Like, like right there. I thought there was like, there's some overlap, right? Like, this would be a pen, brush, whatever. This would be COD. This would be a Battlefield, right? But then let's like file new. Don't save. But apparently these guys think this is what it is actually. Okay, this is what I think they believe it actually is. Like, this is COD. This is Battlefield. And all of this is the people that play both and don't give a shit. Meanwhile, you got the polar opposite that has never played Battlefield, only play COD, and then, you know, the size is whatever. It's like the middle part I'm looking at. And then the people that play Battlefield are vehemently against Call of Duty, right? They want that militaristic simulation type game. They like the vehicles. They like the infantry. They like the more gun ballistics, right? I gotta aim up. I gotta zero in my shit, right? That's what I thought it was. But apparently, if they're gonna go the same monetary model, whatever, yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
And the wild part here is that Battlefield 6 isn't even a success yet. You still got to release the game. People still have a lot of
No.
questions about this game, about balance, about
Imagine an entire IP getting taken down and ruined by one locked-in cat girl.
connection issues, about the anti-cheat requiring root level access yet still letting cheaters through, about the size of the maps. You haven't won anything yet. You guys are already out here planning a victory parade and a book tour. Now, I will say most of games media took the story and ran, much of it just basing it off of Proctor's word with little else to go off of. However, back in July, EA CEO Andrew Wilson had already revealed this plan during an investor call, but nobody put it together. Reported on by Chris Scullion of Video Games Chronicle in an article titled EA CEO says it's all in as a company on Battlefield 6 is building a platform rather than a product.
Oh boy, because that's what I want out of my games. I want a platform. I don't want a product. I want an entire ecosystem, right? They saw what World of Warcraft did and how many versions of WoW there are. They saw the Blizzard launcher. All right, you know, you get funneled in. You see there's like 5 zillion different versions of WoW you can play. And while doing that, if you get bored of WoW, you can play some other Blizzard game. You can play some other COD game. And then they saw what Call of Duty has done with the monetary model scheme of like year after year and all the different versions of Call of Duty year over year, all the skins, right? And all of a sudden, they want a piece. They want a piece of the puzzle. It's our turn to make a platform. Which is kind of funny because if you're just going off of like what happened to the last game, I mean, what are you guys trying to make a platform on? This is what you guys are trying to make a platform on? I mean it ain't bad. I mean, the only reason this is up is because of the dang Battlefield 6 beta. But prior to the beta, I mean, this shit was at like 5K, 4 or 5K. Like, come on now. 2K, like what is this? And all of a sudden the 6 beta comes out and then it ends and then people all of a sudden want some more Battlefield and then they immediately go to the last Battlefield that was released and it's 2042. Oh, and the game is finally in a playable spot after what 4 or 5 years, right? And the only reason the numbers are juiced up now is because the beta's over and people still want to play Battlefield. But like all these people, like these guys don't give a shit about Battlefield. They're just tourists. Where was all this energy over here? There was none. And this is what you want to make a platform on? I mean, shit, good luck, man.
They write, Wilson replied that the company isn't treating Battlefield 6 like a single product, but rather as the start of a Battlefield platform with more details coming later this week. Certainly you're going to see a lot more in a couple of days, Wilson replied. We've been investing more behind this Battlefield than any Battlefield product before it.
Nice.
And really the big reason for that is this isn't just a product. We are building out Battlefield as a platform. You'll hear more about this in 2 days' time, and all will become clear about the nature of our investment over the last 4 years with
$5 says when Battlefield 6 comes out, I'm going to do a little comparison. You take the base game of Battlefield 6 with no skins, and then you take the base game of whatever the Call of Duty is, no skins, so that way you can't really tell, right? And I want someone to do like a comparison video to see like which game is being played. Like a couple seconds, like a couple kills, like bang, bang, right? And then switch to the other game, or do like a couple clips of the same game, and then do a couple clips of the other game, just so you like mess with people and just be like, which one's Battlefield and which one's COD? And I just want to know to see if people can tell the difference, or at least if casuals can tell the difference.
4 studios building against this launch to date. Guys, when I say I don't understand how these CEOs have jobs, this is why. They invested everything behind this game, which at least seems like it's resulted in a great Battlefield game, but it was all built on the promise that they were going to turn Battlefield into a platform like Call of Duty. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, with the beta behind us, how do you not look at Battlefield 6's positive reception and attribute it to the fact that every single Battlefield studio worked on this game? DICE, Criterion,
Dang.
Motive, Ripple Effect. Plus, you guys made Battlefield Labs. EA, you do not have the talent to be able to pull off a quality Battlefield release without company-wide cooperation. You need a
Battlefield Labs is like Halo Forge, which is a good thing.
united effort, because you, like every other publisher, have bled out most of your talent that made your games what they were at their peak. We already know that because most of those people went on to create Embark Studios that gave us the finals, and now they're about to drop Arc Raiders. Both of those games widely celebrated, showing just how integral those developers really were to your studios. And the irony of this entire situation is,
why is this the meta of like FPS games? This happened with Call of Duty. The main guys that made, or like the head honchos that made Call of Duty broke off and made Titanfall, made a couple Titanfalls, and then they made Apex, and then a couple years into Apex they decided to dip out again to go do something else. Battlefield. All the guys that made OG Battlefield really great decided to dip out. And they made Embark Studios. They made the finals. Now they're going to go make Arc Raiders. And who knows what else. This is just a trend I see. And I mean, I wish I could say why, or it's like the goodness or the badness of it, but it's just like
the reason why Battlefield looks like it actually has a chance to challenge Call of Duty is because EA went all in, while Activision has been getting fat and comfortable doing the opposite, exploiting their fans, their studios, and their own franchises. I covered this.
Well, Activision, no, I'll just let you go.
In Activision is a cancer, but while Call of Duty is one of the most profitable franchises on Earth and has been for nearly 2 decades, their aggressive monetization, relentless release schedule, and declining quality has them on the edge. Black Ops 6 is sitting at the lowest player numbers that they have seen in years, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, after seeing that Black Ops 7 trailer, it does not look like that game is going to fix it. The game
I gotta watch that shit, dude. I haven't seen it yet. I gotta watch it.
gameplay trailer looked like absolute garbage. It is getting fried online and ratioed on YouTube.
Oh, was that the
And
one?
I would love to blame
Wait,
this
wait,
all
wait.
on
Let me go see.
trailer look like absolute garbage. It is getting fried online.
Black Ops, wait, COD Black Ops 7 gameplay reveal. How long is this? 2 minutes? Let me see this real quick. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna save it for a different video. But Bop, is there anything that pops up? Oh, DBFC. Oh, the juice. COD Black Ops 7 gameplay reveal. Is this the one? 41 million. Oh, wow. From official COD. Oh, stop it. Stop it, god damn it. Oof. Actual up thumb, down thumb ratio. Oh, sucks to suck. Damn, what's this one? 100K down. That one said it's up to like 350K down. Woo.
Online and ratioed on YouTube. And now, while I'd love to blame this all on crossover skins and shameless monetization, let's be honest, if the game was fun, if it played well, if it wasn't infested with cheaters, people wouldn't be nearly as angry about their games. But the real reason why the franchise is in the state that it's in today is because of the very annualized model that Battlefield now wants to copy.
Yeah, it's not just one thing with COD. It's multiple bullet points.
A short-sighted business strategy that's been left over by Bobby Kotick, who used it to be able to boost their revenues, inflate their...
Oh, god dang it. You had to mention Bobby. Hasn't he, like, left the damn gaming industry, or did he come back? Fucking Bobby.
Shareholder numbers and sell the company at its peak. Continuing down that path is only going to drive this franchise and the company straight into the ground. By forcing out a new game every year, none of these studios get a chance to breathe. No chance to collaborate, no time to refine the engine, no space to actually build an effective anti-cheat. Quality releases are abandoned in favor of a strict schedule designed to squeeze players for all they're worth until the wheels fall off. When I interviewed Call of Duty developers last year, they talked about how fragmented the design process has become, how segmented their teams are. Almost nobody knows what anybody else is working on, and more times than not, something built by another studio isn't even usable by the next. So when problems actually get solved in one game, those fixes can never carry forward. You're just digging your grave deeper and deeper every single year.
Dang.
Beyond that, I think releasing a new Call of Duty every single year, at this point, people are starting to just get sick of it. The top comment on Black Ops 7's trailer literally says, Black Ops 6 came out like a minute ago, bro. Another one reads, Black Ops 8 coming out during 7's beta. This is where we're at.
Oh, I gotta make sure to go watch that shit.
The entire franchise just become a meme of itself. I remember the massive sigh of relief that people let out back in 2022 when Activision had announced that they were going to be stepping away from
Call of Duty could move away from annual releases according to new report. Oh boy.
the annualized model to give developers a little bit more time to work on the game and hopefully release a higher quality game as a result of it. And then they immediately went back on it with Modern Warfare 3, one of the worst entries in the entire series. And I don't really think that things have improved since then. How do you not learn from that? How do you not see the disaster that that franchise is headed towards and take notes? That's what a competitor would do. That's what a real competitor would do. Learn from the mistakes of your rival, not repeat them, and then strike their weaknesses. But what am I saying? This industry doesn't compete anymore. They don't even know how to. EA, like every other company, gets one whiff of success and they sprint to join the systematic annihilation of quality, all for a taste of annualized profits. It's the only thing that these guys care about. And I'm sure that EA probably thinks that they're going to be able to pull it off because they've already done it with their sports franchises, but it won't work here. Annualized releases only work in a cornered market when players feel like they don't have any other choice. Battlefield's one shot at relevance is being the alternative to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
By copying them, you are erasing that distinction. You are removing the anticipation, the chance to deliver a higher quality experience, and the ability to respond to players' tastes as they change over time. Instead, you're competing purely on popularity at that point, and that is a fight that Battlefield and EA are not equipped to win. EA is going to take the same.
And I mean, in the case for specifically for FPSs, there's just so many FPSs right now on PC. Maybe it's not so much the case for console. I mean, because like, what do you guys got on console? Like, you guys got Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, you got PUBG. There's probably some more, right? There's probably some more, but off the top of my head, I can't really think of. Well, we got Apex. You got Siege, Rainbow Six Siege. But like, is it enough? Is it ever enough? Is there enough subcategories of shooting games under the umbrella that is shooter? Do we need more? I mean, I don't know. Is there a right answer? Is there a wrong answer?
Model that is dragging one franchise into the dirt and apply it to theirs. And the cost isn't just going to be the game itself. It's going to be the players who are going to lose variety, lose innovation, and also just eventually lose the reason to care. And that last part is particularly deadly because, yes, I know Call of Duty still sells like crazy. I mean, people were sighing at the Xbox reveal of Black Ops 7. Saw a lot of people that were disappointed in that, especially with the way that Phil Spencer kind of led up to the entire thing. Oh, long legacy franchise. He made it sound like it was something we haven't seen before, haven't seen in a long time. It was just Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And while I also have seen the reception to the Gamescom trailer, which, woof, that does not look good.
I gotta
It's
see
still
that.
going to sell. People will buy games out of nostalgia. People will buy games out of habit. And we will...
They will up into a point. Only, and I can only say that because I only say it because it's through experience. Yeah, like people will buy games for nostalgia, but I have literally sat here over the last 7 years and had conversations with some of the guys I work with, like in my job, and I've literally watched them buy sports games year over year and have given them shit for it year over year. Kind of bantery, but whatever. But over the course of a couple years, they can see that I was right. I tell them over and over. Why do you get this? Why do you get this? It's dog shit. It's bad. You're just contributing to. And I joke, I'm like, you're the problem with the games industry. And you know, it's kind of bantery back and forth, but eventually, they come around. They see what games are bad. They see why games are bad, and they come to me all the time, man. They're like, shit, Cornel, you were right, man. I wasted my money. I have buyer's remorse. I have regret. I'm like, God dang it. This sucks. And I'm like, sorry, man. I know I could just be like, oh, I told you so, but like, would it really be worth it?
Oftentimes buy things outside of our best interests. I do it all the time. I feel like everybody does, but I still think that that has an expiration date, especially regarding some of these franchises and how much they've lost quality over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how.
I mean, because we're still essentially arguing over the point or the ratio of people that are familiar and in the ecosystem. So then once you're in the ecosystem, there is the people that are entering the ecosystem. There is a rate, right, of like people entering the ecosystem. And then there's a people exiting the ecosystem of a game. And there's a rate or like a down arrow, all right? The people entering the ecosystem has to be higher than the rate of people leaving the ecosystem of the platform. All right, that's a W for them. Like on an individual game product like level, I mean, it's kind of here nor there. But that's what they're concerned about. They want to acquire new players more than old players are leaving.
Volatile the industry has been. There's been so many games that people thought that were going to succeed that failed. There's been a lot of games that the industry thought were dead ringers, but the players are like, that's dead on arrival. The players were right. You know, I just made a video talking about how Gen Z has effectively just stopped buying new games with less money to spend and less reason to spend because the games are lowering in quality, and with younger generations not necessarily invested in a lot of these franchises to begin with. I don't understand why these guys think that it's going to be a good idea to oversaturate the market. You know, this is basic economics. If demand is falling and spending is falling, and you're out there cranking out a new release every single year, increasing the stocks in the market, increasing the supply within the market, and on top of that, increasing the price at the exact same time. Why?
That's based off of your numbers, leg drops. Not based on their numbers. Based on their numbers, there's a ton of demand, right?
Why would you do something like that? Now, to their credit, Battlefield isn't going to be able to do an annualized release for another 3 to 6 years, is what they said. But if Battlefield 6 blows up the way that it looks like it's going to, I guarantee these guys are going to slam on the gas as quickly as they can. And if they do, that's a bad thing. They're going to lose a lot of money. Now, mind you, that's a lesson that they might have to learn themselves.
Yep.
But personally, as somebody that likes Battlefield, I don't really want to see that happen. You know, franchises might be the lifeblood of this industry, but they're also...
And as someone that doesn't really care here or there about Battlefield, I could care less what happens. I mean, I was never really attached, so I'm kind of like unbiased in this situation. However, I do like FPSs, and for me to see another flagship FPS kind of fall, even though I wasn't really invested in it, it is kind of sad. Because like I can appreciate the vibe of like all the Battlefields and what they were going for from like a casual perspective, and I can just be like, oh, even though I didn't play it, that looked pretty cool. Good for them, you know. But to see what they are going to do to the brand, I'm just like, oh, sad.
its greatest weakness, because when you look across the board, how many of these franchises have actually gotten better with time? How many more of them have been dragged into either mediocrity or just straight into the gutter? I can tell you, It's a lot more on one side than the other, especially lately. This entire ecosystem is overly leveraged on nostalgia. And a lot of these younger generations, they don't owe anything to any of these games or any of these franchises. So if the industry doesn't make these games worthwhile for them, they're just going to let them die without a second thought.
Yep.
When I sat down to write for this video, I asked myself an honest question. How many franchises have actually gotten better with time? Now, this is going to be something that's subjective. Sure, everybody's going to have a different list than mine, or they're going to have some different opinions than mine. If for whatever reason my opinions offend you, well, you're probably watching the wrong channel.
I'd have to think long and hard about that. Well, let me see. Real quick. Let's open up Steam. Let's open up Store. No, Library. Like my little categories. The DMC has gotten better over time. Kind of Borderlands, but not really. 3 was kind of a fuck up. Pretty much peaked at 2. Dead Space, no. Destiny, no. Well, maybe Destiny? I never played Destiny. Dragon's Dogma, eh. Elden Ring, eh. Halo, like, it got better up to 3, and then, like, what was the one after 3? Not Ghost. There was, like, the one after 3, which was, like, the prequel, and then after that, it just went down. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, but, like, arguably no, but, like, MechWarrior, Monster, people could say Monster Hunter. I think it's gotten better, funner, but like if you ask all the old heads of Monster Hunter, they'd say like, it's gotten worse. Remnant, I don't know. Tiny Tina, nah. Aliens, Armored Core, definitely. That's a good one. Armored Core 6, Juicer, BioShock, Juice. Dead Space, man, yeah. DMC 5, that was juice, right? DMC 5, good. Doom, like, old Dooms, and then transitioned from 2016 to Eternal, and then it kind of went down with like whatever the last one was with the shield. Don't care. Dragon Age. Dragon Age, I think 1 was good, like, and then they came out with like the Origins, which was like a little expansion dealy. That was great. And then 2 was like, it went way down. And then I really liked Inquisition. I played it like multiple times, but then other people were like, it was bad, but like whatever. Elder Scrolls into Skyrim. I think Elder Scrolls has always been like getting better. Fallout, constantly getting better, I think. That's the vibe. Ooh, Metal Gear. Mirror's Edge, blah, blah, blah. Titanfall 2, like I thought that was a great increase. What else? Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed in the beginning, it was getting better. Up until, what was it, 4? And then I think it peaked at Black Flag. That's just my own 2 cents. And then you had a couple other ones, and then you had Origins Odyssey Origins, which everyone likes those, but then everything else is pretty much dog shit. Ooh, Battlefield 5 update queued, whatever. Don't give a shit. Batman. The Batman ones were good. Arkham, that's good. Let me see. What is this? Craft Champ, Cyberpunk, Dark Souls. People say Dark Souls got better, but 2 was like, ooh. Darksiders, it's kind of meh. Dishonored, Dragon's Dogma, who the fuck is Far Cry? I mean, you could kind of say Far Cry like 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 Blood Dragon, and then it's like kind of like wavered. Let me see. It really depends. Like God of War. The old God of Wars, like the OG ones, like probably got better. And then it was just a complete change when you had that over the shoulder one. Let me see what else. We're only on J. Lego, Mass Effect, Metro. Never played Metro, not yet. Anyway, what else? PoE update queued. Oh my god, Neo. Everyone loves Neo. Neo got pretty good. Middle Earth was pretty good. Let me see. I think Resident Evil it was probably getting better, and then I think it peaked at like either 3 or 4 is when I think it peaked. But then it kind of went like too action packed in like 6, and then what was 5? 5? I think 5 was pretty good. I played a lot of 5. Or no, everybody says it peaked at 4. I thought 5 was pretty good, but then 6 was too like action packed and QTE bullshit. And then 7. Hey, everyone loved big titty vampire lady. So Star Wars, I love Splinter Cell. I mean, I'm a Splinter Cell shill. I think these guys like Splinter Cell's been getting better and better. What was this? Was this Conviction? This is Blacklist. I loved Blacklist. Blacklist was fucking awesome. Witcher, I think has been getting better, but like the latest ones are like, it's just the vibes. All this is vibes based, but
Mario, Zelda, Resident Evil, FromSoft Games, Persona, maybe a couple of others. Some fighting or racing games, but I don't really play those kind of games.
No, you're just going like really willy-nilly through every genre. I just went through my whole Steam library real quick.
And that's about it. Maybe I'm forgetting.
No, yes, you're forgetting. You could have easily just as went through your own fucking Steam library.
Getting 1 or 2, but holy shit, it feels like most of these franchises suck now. I mean, Halo's in the gutter. Pokemon somehow gets worse with every single release. Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed are just general market slop with no flavor.
Yeah.
Dragon Age is likely finished after the Veilguard. Doom Eternal ripped, but Dark Ages is honestly one of the most boring games that I played this year. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout are likely just kind of question marks at this point because, I mean, Starfield has me doubting.
Wait, what? Elder Scrolls and Fallout? I thought everybody pretty much liked those, no?
That entire studio's future.
Well, that's Starfield, all right? Starfield is a different, like, IP. Yes, it's made by Bethesda. But...
Monster Hunter is kind of the same now because...
It depends on who you ask.
I loved Wilds for about the first 60 hours, but I haven't put a quarter of the time that I sunk into World. The performance is rough in that game and still hasn't improved, and honestly, it just feels too easy. If I had the time, I would want to sit down and audit almost every single major franchise because I have a strong feeling that most of them are not.
Only major franchises need apply. Anything not major, don't even look at. Come on.
Doing nearly as well as they should be. And I think that there are a lot of reasons for that, but I think the biggest one is probably just time. The people that created these franchises are no longer at these studios anymore.
Yeah.
And the people that are making them now just don't understand what the original motivations were. A few years back, I tried joining a metal band again, and they had already had like a album.
Oh, man, that's just a funny statement. A couple years back, I tried to join a metal band.
Worth of songs ready, and on paper this entire thing should have worked. We had the same taste in music. They were a metalcore band, I was a metalcore rhythm guitarist, but everything clashed. Nothing actually sounded good. We're from the same genre, but we had a completely different tone, and that's what I would imagine game design is like. You can swap out one creative for another, you can hand them the blueprint, but it doesn't matter because different people make different things. And
making games kind of synonymous to just vibing between musicians. No, there's like when musicians just vibe out and just do jam sesh, it's so much like more free flowy. Like people making games and shit, like at least AAA, you gotta ask, hey, can I do this? Imagine if it like making music was like making a video game. Hey, can I play this note? Hey, can I play this riff? Hey, can I play this bar or whatever? Can I play this section? Hey, can I play this? And then it's just no.
nothing is ever going to come out the same for better or for worse. But beyond that, priorities have changed. I mean, the AAA industry just is not as talented as it used to be. It used to be visionaries, but they don't have visionaries anymore because visionaries are risks, and risks do not look good on a quarterly report. Instead, these publishers see these franchises as dependable, reliable sources of income that should only increase year over year, and changing anything outside of the audience that they're aimed at doesn't make any sense to them. Yoko Taro, the creator of Nier, had a presentation at GDC where he talked about how predictable games have become, and he flat out said that there aren't enough weird people making games, and I think that he's right. I mean, sure, there's
the dude that made Nier Automata, well, the whole Nier series, Resident Evil game industry weirdo. Yoko Taro laments that there aren't many weird people.
A lot of weird people in the games industry right now, but they're all weird in the wrong way. We're getting weird ideas without good ones.
Yeah, you know what kind of weird we're getting? Hey, here's an idea. Let's charge people that play FPS games for bullets. That's the kind of weird people we're getting. Let's let them shoot all the bullets and then make them pay for more bullets.
Because instead of taking chances on genuinely unique creators, the industry has kind of feigned weirdness by showcasing these socially awkward people in game trailers and announcements, while on the back end just doubling down on predictable returns. They have pushed real voices out, and now those people are in indie, they're in AA, or they're running their own studios, and as a result, we've seen this really sharp contrast where the franchise-driven AAA space has become painfully homogenous, while indie keeps standing out, being fresh, unique, and interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, everybody is loving all that. Well, not necessarily indie games, but like indie kind of implies like it's like a small group of people doing something, like maybe one person even. But like what has ended up happening is like you have this mid-range group of studios that, like, I think on paper they're an indie studio, but it's like maybe like 50 to like 100 or to like up to like 200-300 people. You know, they're like, yes, guys, we're an indie studio. But so, you know, it ranges, but like you have this mid-range grade of studios coming out with some of these banger games, and it's just like, whoa, this is what gaming is.
I don't think I'm weird for saying this, but out of all of the franchises I can think of, one of the ones that I respect the most, even though it's definitely stumbled and lost some relevance, is Final Fantasy. Even the ones that I don't like, I still end up kind of liking. Personally, I would like to see them go back to their roots and be a turn-based game. I think Expedition 33 just showed how badly that is missing from the market right now, but at least Square Enix experiments, and when they do it, they're doing it in ways that aren't safe. Final Fantasy 16 was essentially Devil May Cry, and they hired the guy from Devil May Cry to make the game. That is not a safe choice. It pushed a lot of their hardcore audience away, but at least it was bold.
I still have, like, I played DMC5, and I think it's like one of the, like, the best action hack and slashes ever. So I think I gotta go get like Final Fantasy 16, dude.
Fantasy 7, the remakes are probably the direction that the series is going to stick with, and I think that those games are fantastic, but what I really respect the most out of them is not a single entry has ever felt phoned in. You can feel the effort even when the execution is flawed. The Final Fantasy 15 game that was panned for its brain-dead combat and how rushed the second half of the game was, that game still had a fascinating world. The fishing was essentially Bass Pro level, the story was interesting, and it had some moments that really stuck. Final Fantasy 16 went through the exact same ordeal, but the story and characters were peak. That Titan fight was insane, and the Bahamut fight is likely going to go down as one of my favorite moments in gaming. When I look at that franchise, I can see the effort, I can still see the soul, and I think...
Is Final Fantasy 16? Well, wait a sec. No, not Discord. Jesus. God damn it. Please, God, no. No, I don't want to start it. Just open up Steam. For Christ's sakes. Store. Do I got Final Fantasy 16? It's on the wish list. I'm waiting for this shit to go on sale. Okay, I ain't paying $50 for no goddamn game. Get out of here, Discord.
I think a lot of other people can too, and maybe that's why nobody's truly given up on it. But when I look at some of these other franchises, I cannot say the same thing. Either some of them do not want to experiment, or when they do, well, they just completely miss the mark. You cannot feel the same soul of these franchises. You cannot see the effort. You cannot see the vision. And in a lot of cases, these guys have just completely lost sight of who their audience actually is. They're stuck trying to split the difference, appealing to these fans that are there for nostalgia while also trying to chase these younger audiences. And in that, trying to be everything, they end up being nothing. And that's why so many of these series have fallen apart. You take the loss of talent, mix it with an unclear idea of who the audience even is in the first place, and then you get these aimless experiences that are too bland, too broad, and built for everyone and no one at the exact same time. The result is these games that just don't have any core identity anymore. Instead of leaning into what made them work, publishers feel like they're being forced to re-engineer the foundations in ways that don't even fit a lot of these games, and they just keep telling themselves that this is the best way for them to bring in more players, but it doesn't. On the other hand,
damn, I just got like entranced with that little background footage of like the battle. I kind of didn't. It was like, okay.
Some of these cases, these franchises don't even need to change at all. Dragon Age did not need modern day social commentary. It did not need Tosh. It did not need a magic mirror to ask me who I really am on the inside. It needed good combat, sick boss fights, meaningful choices, good versus evil, and build variety. Doom does not need a backstory for the Slayer. Nobody cares. All people want to do is just tear demons apart in the most...
Yeah, I mean, even the main director, bro, says that nobody cares about the story in Doom. They just want good ass gameplay. I mean, they kind of delivered it, kind of not, with the whole design your own difficulty bullshit. I mean, initially I thought this was great, but like upon seeing everybody's like reaction to it, like, because I still haven't gotten the game yet, because like I don't fucking want to. I don't want to buy a mid ass fucking game, dude. I'll just wait till that shit's on sale now for like 75% off.
Brutal ways possible, but this industry has convinced themselves that reinvention equals growth, and in doing so, they've eroded their own brands. The audience that they're chasing isn't even listening to these guys, and the ones that they had are now walking away. And the irony of all this is that the energy that is going into changing these games is going into changing them in the wrong way, while the actual quality of the experience is getting ignored. Nobody is stopping to ask the obvious: what if we just made the experience better? What if we just doubled down on what our core fan base actually loves about it? These guys have completely missed the idea that quality does not limit reach, it expands it, making your job a hell of a lot more simple.
I would agree with him on all of that, except since watching all of this Battlefield 6 like videos and news and shit, even from old like Battlefields, I have come to the conclusion, well, for multiple videos now, that the core Battlefield 6 community or Battlefield community, there is so much infighting within the Battlefield community that it has an identity crisis. It doesn't know what kind of game it wants to be. Is it supposed to be competitively viable with like rank modes? Is it supposed to be like infantry centric? Is it supposed to be like hardcore militaristic simulator type of game with like gun ballistics and like bullet drop and all that shit? Is it supposed to be like vehicle centric where people only want to play it for the vehicles? You got like the building destruction in there, which that's great. Or people want the complete casual experience and they don't give a shit about any of it. So it's like you don't have no idea like what Battlefield is like trying to do.
But instead of expanding, these franchises have started to shrink. Every shortcut, every missed opportunity to invest in quality has chipped away at the very thing that made these games dependable in the first place. They were supposed to be a foundation the industry could build on, but now they're showing cracks everywhere. The more publishers lean on them as safe bets, the less safe they're actually becoming. And that's a real problem because these franchises are not stabilizing the industry anymore. They're dragging it down. Publishers are thinking they're safe bets, but they're incredibly brittle. The moment any of them stumbles, it's not just a bad quarter, it's the entire studio that's getting shut down. Thousands of jobs that are being wiped out and players that are being left with nothing. These games are supposed to be anchors, but now they've turned into weights. And I think what makes matters worse pretty much across the board is that their entire strategy of using these franchises hinges on nostalgia, on the idea that players will always come back to them because they have in the past. But if younger generations don't have that attachment, what are you going to do? I mean, these guys do not remember these franchises.
Yeah, all the young people, they're all playing like Fortnite. They're playing Rainbow Six. There's like, if I don't like one FPS, I'm just gonna go play something else. Like, what are you guys doing? What do you guys think you're doing? You think you're the only FPS in the arena? Newsflash, You're not.
And what they were at their peak. And honestly, a lot of them don't care to carry a lot of these games forward. If these games aren't good, they're just going to walk away.
Yeah.
And I think that's the danger that nobody in this industry is willing to admit, that by tying your revenue so tightly to the shrinking pool of aging franchises, publishers aren't just making bad games, they're gambling with the foundation of their very business. Because once the nostalgia well runs dry, once some of us start to age out of the hobby, once younger audiences start to move on, there's not going to be anything left to be able to hold these series up. And when that
happens, young people did not grow up with Battlefield. They grew up with like Fortnite, dude.
Happens, it won't just be the end of a franchise. It's going to be the end of a lot of these companies who have built their entire futures on it. I mean, what if, and this is going to sound crazy, have you ever thought about the fact that Gen Z and Gen A may just not like your franchise or not be interested in it, regardless of whatever you do to it?
They don't want to come to grips with that. That's not even an option in their head. They're not even considering that. They just need to be more exposed to the brand, all right? Like I said, that Locked In Catgirl video did this game so much goodness.
Tastes and generations change. They're looking for different experiences. We see that all the time, right? I mean, there's not a lot of things that my parents' generation are interested in that I'm interested in. And you're just going to continue to try to force it. And while you're doing that, well, you're just going to push away the audiences that you do have while chasing an audience that you'll never get. I mean, a lot of these franchises never even really started off on the right foot when it came to a lot of these younger generations in the first place. I mean, they've been listening to millennials talk about how Halo was the greatest thing ever, but these guys got Infinite and Guardians.
Yeah.
Dragon Age, we're probably never going to see that again. How do you explain to some of these younger generations that studio at one point in time made the Baldur's Gate series?
Yeah.
And then show them what Larian did with it? And then show them Dragon Age the Veilguard? What?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense. You know, right now, AAA, I think that the entire industry is largely fueled by impulsive, nostalgia-fueled millennial spending.
Yeah.
That's going to dry up at one point in time.
It will.
And the other problem that they're running into as well is that the millennial crowd, and probably even folks that are older than that too, are exasperated. They're frustrated.
People in their 30s and 40s. Potentially even 50s, but probably not. But like maybe kind of. But like at least 30s and 40s.
With the state of a lot of the franchises and what they're in, because a lot of these companies have ruined them, and they're going out and they're talking shit online. They're dunking on these games, dragging them through the mud, and likely scaring off any other audiences. Maybe these guys should probably take the time to think.
If they're even doing that. All right, because you can, when a game comes out, and like everybody knows about these options, like for like a game, right? You can talk about it in a positive way. You can talk about it in a negative way. Or there's the third option that nobody really talks about, but like it kind of happens naturally, but like people need to be reminded that this is a third option. You simply ignore it. If a game studio is doing something that you don't like, it's fine to criticize it a little bit. I mean, likewise, if they're doing some things that you like, you should 100% praise them. If they're doing things that you don't like, you should criticize them. But if this is a recurring thing that happens over and over and over, eventually you got to move to this one and just not even talk about it. Because both of these are considered engagement. All right. What happens when no one even wants to engage with your favorite, with your IP, right? Then you don't, and this is the thing. There's two different kinds of ignorance. There's the one where it's like true ignorance and you just really are 100% unknowing about it. And then there's the willful ignorance where you know about it and you are choosing to push it away and not even give it the time of day. All right? That's the deadly one. Well, both of them are really, but I mean, it's whatever.
Think about trying to sell to other audiences through the audience that you already have. In some cases, and this is probably going to make a few people upset, maybe it's time for some of these franchises just to go out to greener pastures. Let them go. Sorry, old Yeller.
Yeah.
You were good to me, but you're not any good anymore. That just might.
I mean, I've had to do that with like tons of IPs. What's another one? Another notch on the belt?
Might be the way. Maybe it's time to let some of these studios try to make their own things. Stop trying to force these developers to live in somebody else's house. Stop trying to make these developers wear somebody else's shoes that they obviously cannot fill. Maybe it's time to start trying to make the new franchise by not actually making a franchise in the first place. I can't imagine that the vast majority of the most popular franchises that we see today actually came from the idea of thinking that they were going to make a game that was going to be made for 20 years straight.
Yeah. They had no idea.
That's what I think. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. We hit 400,000 subscribers. We are the champions. Thank you.
No, we're family. 400 Keezy. Good stuff, man.
You. Family. 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 Anyway. Stay cool. Stay righteous. Stay safe.
Dude.
I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Family.
Oh my god. Just as a FYI, if you guys are ever trying to look for a job, and some of the red flags you look out for, one of them is we have if you ever hear the HR people talking about, we have a family-like culture at our job. That is a red flag to get out of there. Okay? Just a heads up. Okay, but like other than that, good video, man. You got like a couple other ones. I want to see your 2 cents, but yeah, other than that, good stuff. Congrats, 400. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.